A lot of people want to find championship level tactics and below and see how they can rise pretty easily. Well, as far as I can tell, this one might work for what you need. This one is simply called Irons Championship Ascenso. So rising through the championship, I'm kind of assuming that's where they're going with this. There's no description, there's no screenshots. I have no idea who they tried it with. So we're going to test it out quickly with our teams of Liverpool and Aston Villa in the Premier League and our championship side of Ipswich Town. As you can see, it is a somewhat standard 4-3-3. You do have an inverted fullback on the left, a complete wingback on the right. So we'll see what that does with our teams and if we need to play with anything on there. But let's dive into the Premier League and see how our teams did. Well, as you can see, a fairly standard affair for these days at least. Liverpool come in first, 75 goals, 90 points, not too bad at all. Only 2 above Arsenal though. Aston Villa in 7th. 62 points is a bit low with 62 goals. They definitely could have done a little bit better. Well, while Liverpool ascended the Premier League to the top of the ranks, unfortunately they didn't do very well in the domestic cups. Carabao Cup 4th round, they're out in penalties to Luton, and the FA Cup 4th round, 1-0 to Tottenham. However, they do pick up trophy number 2 in the Europa League, 3-0 over Manchester United. Well, overall, Liverpool not doing a bad job. 2 trophies, the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, yeah, they could have done a little bit better. Squad-wise, half or so in the green, not too bad, so you got somewhat of a good season. But 28 goals for Salah, 17 for Nunez, not the highest we've seen. 13 assists for Jota, 11 for Trent and Szoboszlai, and then average rating Salah with a 7.47. Aston Villa out in the Carabao Cup immediately in the 3rd round against Luton again in penalties. However, they go all the way to the FA Cup final, beating Fulham 1-1 in penalties, beating Man City, not bad. And trophy number 2, Slavia Prague in the Europa Conference League final, 3-2 in extra time. Very well done. So all in all, 7th place in the Premier League is not great. However, if you took control of this, you could definitely do a better job there. You are still a ways off from 1st or even Champions League spots, but you still got 2 trophies. Not bad. Squad-wise, a little bit more in the green than, I guess, average, but still. 32 goals for Ollie Watkins is phenomenal. Assists 18 for John McGinn, 17 for T. Elements, an average rating, Robin Olsen in there, but Diaby with a 7.14. That's tops. Data Hub, now this one's interesting. Fouls against per game is through the roof. The attacking side, it's better than Premier League average for Liverpool, but we've still seen a lot better. Defensively is very interesting though. Goals per game only 1.97. Yeah, we have seen a lot better from them, but 0.45 conceded and 0.6 XG against. Very well done. Aston Villa not even getting the fouls against. Their attacking side is just a squeak above Premier League average. Defensively, squeezed in some areas, but excelling in others. Goals per game, 1.63 is definitely low. You definitely want to raise that. 1.18 conceded, 1.08 XG against. For this team at least. Premier League stats, Liverpool with 2.37 points per game, Aston Villa in 7th with 1.63. Most goals, Liverpool in 3rd with 75, Aston Villa do make the list with 62. Fewest shots against, 199 for Liverpool, Aston Villa with 319. There's that defensive piece. Most possession, 60% for Liverpool, 54 for Aston Villa. Best pass completion, 90% for Liverpool, 89 for Aston Villa. And most shots for Liverpool in 1st with only 553, but Aston Villa making the list in 8th with 440. But we've seen it time and time again. Liverpool excels, Aston Villa may not, but where does that leave Ipswich Town? Well, 10th place, interestingly enough, not even in the playoffs. 65 points. I mean, you are 14 points or thereabouts away from the playoff spots, so you've got a lot of work to do. You probably could do it, or you very well could do it with this team if you do your own transfers and training and things like that. But in this case, it didn't work very well. Didn't work very well in the domestic cups either. Out, funny enough, against Luton Town again. 2nd round of the Carabao Cup 0-2 and FA Cup 4th round 0-1 against Newcastle. So overall, yeah, this one did not work for this team at all. I mean, at least in this save, if you do it this 10 different times, you could get 10 different results. But in this case, yeah, it didn't work. So with only 1 in the green and they only had 2+4 appearances, I'm not surprised. Goals though, 12 for Connor Chaplin is really low. Leif Davis though with 11 assists, it's interesting to see that he's still there, but Connor Chaplin getting the list with 699 is the top. Sadly, we start on this screen for Ipswich Town in the championship stats, but tied for 10th with 1.41 points per game. Even sadder still though, we have to start all the way with fewest shots against, with Ipswich in 3rd, 352, most possession in 3rd with 57%, most tackles won with 1022, and best pass completion in 4th with 90%. But let's dive into the tactic itself. We start out with a sweeper keeper in defend, a complete wingback in support on the left, an inverted wingback or fullback, sorry, on the defend in the right, a central defender on the left with a ball playing defender in stopper on the right, deep line playmaker in defend, a Mazzala in support next to a box to box in support, an inverted winger in support on the left, a winger in attack on the right, a deep lying forward in attack up front. Positive mentality, in possession, attacking width is fairly wide, play out of defense, passing directness is shorter, tempo is slightly higher, mixed crosses, and that's it. In transition, counter press, counter, and distribute to the center backs. And out of possession, mid block line of engagement, a higher defensive line, trigger press more often, and then get stuck in. So overall, how did it do for our three teams? Well, interestingly enough, it sounds like this is one made for the championship to excel and ascend the ranks in the table, but unfortunately it didn't work in Ipswich Town's case. But it did work apparently for Liverpool doing, fairly well. 90 points is not too bad at all. You do have some room to grow there as well. Aston Villa in 7th is below average for them, so I definitely think you could do a little bit better if you took control. But all in all, for 4-3-3s, we have seen better. Nothing against the tactic itself. This could just be this save. I am doing nothing but holiday throughout the entire season. My coaches are taking care of everything. If you take control, you definitely have a much better shot at doing a lot of these things and doing a lot of the changes that will boost your team up in the table. But in this save, it just didn't work all that well. But that's it for me, Seffian FM for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.